they can buy XRP even if the price doesn't change. These words make many people wonder how the price of XRP can ever go up when banks can buy a lot of it and the price doesn't even change. I'm going to talk about that exact thing in this video because I don't think many people really understand what it means for XRP's tokenomics for institutions to be able to buy it without changing the price. Like always, your help means a lot to us. Thank you to everyone who liked the movies and signed up for the channel. These two easy things help me a lot. Also, if you want to buy some XRP, check out Uphold, which is my best exchange. The link is in the video's description. So let's get started, and I hope you all enjoy what's coming up. A lot of people scratch their heads and ask, how is XRP ever going to move when I say that banks can buy XRP without changing its price? There's no change in the price of XRP if big banks can buy it. I've talked about this a few times in movies before, but I've never really explained what it means. This video will go into more detail about this subject and talk about when it will have an impact on the price of XRP. So the first thing to think about is how the XRP price is set, right? That's likely the most important thing to know. Plus, I know this seems like a stupid subject, but just ask yourself, do you really know where the price of XRP comes from? To tell you the truth, XRP doesn't have a price. We both have the freedom to choose the price at which we trade XRP, right? I'm willing to sell you all of my XRP for $100.00. The price of XRP for that deal is $100.00. This is what hundreds of thousands, millions, or even tens of millions of people do every day through trades. In essence, they are just making a market where people can trade XRP for cash or cash for XRP. These exchanges basically find the point where supply and demand meet. This is how the market price is set. That means that the market price for XRP is different on each exchange. People who are really smart will notice that, oh, this market does sell XRP for this price. This market charges this price for XRP. That means I can buy XRP at exchange A, sell it at exchange B, and make money. That alone makes for a very interesting situation because if you can move XRP between these platforms, the price will be the same on all of them. There is a term for this. Arbitrage. You may have heard of arbitrage before. You may not have known what it meant, though in other words, that's trade. It's just people buying something at a certain price and selling it for a very different price in a different market. Now that XRP changes so fast and all of these exchanges are pretty big, there aren't many chances to make money by arbitraging. But that's usually what you see when you look at CoinMarketCap or any other tool that shows the price of XRP. That's all you can see, a range of prices for XRP on different platforms. The price of XRP then went through the roof. There are in fact places where you can sell XRP for a very different price. At this point, it's only meant to show you what most people are ready to pay for and sell XRP for. One thing to keep in mind is that if you see an exchange that is very low on XRP, the price of XRP on that chain will sometimes go through the roof because they are almost out of it. They have to charge more for XRP because they don't have enough to give out. And so lazy people who just want to keep buying on that exchange will have to pay more for XRP because they don't want to go sign up for another site and do all the work to buy it. That's what can make the trades not balance out. All right, enough with the price of XRP talk. What is the best way for a bank to buy XRP without changing the price? If you have to buy it from an exchange, the truth is that banks can go straight to Ripple. You could all text me and say, hey, Mikkel, sell me some XRP for $10.00, and I would agree. Do you want 10 XRP? That deal can go through. Send me money through Venmo. You can send me money. That being said, you can send me USDC. I'm sending you XRP. And the deal we just made didn't show up on an exchange or in any price data. It was only on an off-market exchange. This is an over-the-counter payment. This is what Ripple can do with all the big banks they work with, right? BlackRock wants 100 or I almost said $100 billion. There are 100 million XRP that BlackRock wants. Hey, Ripple, could you send us 100 million XRP? We'll send you the dollar value on the market. Yes, of course. Money is sent over by wire, and Ripple sells and sends them XRP. Right there is the whole deal. Don't go to the open market. There are a lot of people who hear that and think, oh, no, that's terrible, right? How can the price of XRP go up if banks can buy it straight from Ripple and it never hits the open market, the exchanges, or the price of the asset when it does? We need to talk about something very important right now. And that's the interesting situation Ripple is in with XRP. As one of the first companies to use the XRP database, Ripple's job is to push XRP around. It can be done in a few different ways, but Ripple wants to get XRP into the hands of important people, right? Not giving away tokens on Facebook or staging, which is when they give away a lot of tokens to random people when they're not needed. Ripple has instead said, okay, good. Since this asset is going to be used as pure liquidity, let's give it to financial institutions that need it. Ripple can now do one of two things. They could either go to an exchange, sell the XRP there, and hope that a financial institution buys it. With Ripple's volume, this would probably put a lot of selling pressure on the price of XRP before financial institutions came in and bought it. That's okay for them to do. Or they could just trade the XRP for cash with a bank without anyone knowing. So they don't have to make people want to sell on the open market. Instead, they're just giving XRP to people who will need it in the future. If these banks can get XRP from Ripple and don't have to buy it from an exchange, how is the price of XRP going to go up? The truth is that this is only going to last for a short time. A lot of people forget this, but cryptocurrency is still very new. We're still very new to these blockchain communities. Also, Ripple has a lot of XRP right now. They may have around 45 billion XRP at the moment. There's a chance that the number is less. They'll finally run out of XRP they're willing to give out. I haven't checked in a while. At the moment, any big bank that wants to buy it can probably do so through Ripple. But next year, Ripple will likely be worth only 35 billion. The following year, maybe 25 billion. And the following year, 20 billion. Ripple will say, hey, we're pretty much done now. At some point, we are not going to sell any more XRP. And a certain amount of this XRP is something we want to keep for our own business plans. This means that banks that didn't invest in XRP will have no choice but to do so. The platforms will be the only place they can get XRP. One very cool thing about XRP that makes it stand out from other coins is that it doesn't go up in value over time. That means that no more XRP will be coming into the open market. Only XRP held by regular people will be sold. If inflation doesn't make any XRP and Ripple stops distributing XRP, then there will be a very small amount of XRP that can be bought on public exchanges. Now things really start to get exciting. Each and every other network just makes tokens up out of thin air. With XRP, that won't happen.